Hey, good morning, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Eric Burke. It is 10:30 on your Monday, and this is our new segment, Weather Extra, 10:30 every weekday. And then I know Brad's going to be doing a little bit of this in the evening, too. We've got a lot of weather to talk about locally, and we're going to go through all of that really quick. So not the longest live stream there will be, but we've got plenty of information coming our way. We have to focus on what's going to happen tomorrow, your Tuesday, into early Wednesday morning. Both days are now 48 first alert weather days, and this is for the threat of strong to severe storms coming in Tuesday evening, overnight, wrapping up very early on Wednesday. But another side of the picture is before these storms even move in tomorrow evening, we've got a lot of general gradient wind gusts to deal with. This is going to be a pretty high impact wind event for us. First with those gradient winds, then with the threat for strong to severe storms coming in as we go into late Tuesday evening into Wednesday. So let's get to your timeline for this storm arrival. Again, this is not today, this is tomorrow evening. No real significant changes. If anything, this line has kind of sped up a little bit and will make a slightly earlier arrival for northwest Alabama, Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, parts of Lawrence and Limestone County. This will be as early as 7 p.m. and then wrapping up at the latest 10 p.m. We go into parts of north central Alabama, including the I-65 corridor. This includes our friends just over the state line in parts of southern, central, middle Tennessee, Giles County, Lincoln County, a bit of more in Franklin County too, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then last but not least, toward northeast Alabama, Sand Mountain, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County. The good news with this threat is wrapping up at midnight. Now, I know for Tuesday night into Wednesday, that's late for a work and school night, but this isn't our typical overnight event where we're tracking these storms coming in well into the early morning hours, usually like 3, 4 a.m. So things are trending a little bit faster. Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis will have the most accurate and up-to-date timeline for you coming up later this evening on our newscast starting at 4, 5, 6, and of course 10 p.m. So let's look at your Monday. This is today. Temperatures by 1:30 or so, comfortably in the mid-50s. We're already at 50, I believe, in Huntsville International Airport. Lots of sunshine, light winds. And this is a great opportunity today to go ahead and look at your front and backyard of your home. Go ahead, secure any loose outside items, maybe have some decorations up or anything, things that can blow around, sometimes the patio furniture, with the winds that we're forecasting starting to arrive. The breeze will pick up late this evening, overnight into tomorrow morning. So that'll be a south-southeasterly wind tonight, probably 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20 miles per hour overnight into tomorrow morning. Skies stay cloudy. Temperatures tomorrow morning out the door a lot warmer than the 20s and 30s we had this morning. We warm up into the mid to upper 40s by daybreak. Very breezy winds. The wind advisory, I'll show you that graphic in a second, but that kicks in at noon tomorrow and goes all the way until 3 p.m. on Wednesday. So the general gradient winds will really start to kick in and ramp up, and we could see some isolated power outages or even trees down across the area potentially before that line of storms even goes in. So this is going to be an extended duration wind event. Now, the potential for some showers and maybe a few storms popping up ahead of the main line, that could maybe be as early as about 5, 6 p.m. But the main line of storms, this is what we'll be tracking for that threat for damaging straight line wind gusts. That moves in about 7 o'clock. This is the model data now. Here's 9 o'clock. We've got rain out ahead of the main line coming through, but some of these wind gusts could be 50, 60, maybe up to 70 miles per hour. We do have to include the mention of obviously locally heavy rainfall and the threat for frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. The tornado threat is not as impressive as it was a couple of weeks ago with that severe weather event, but there is a non-zero tornado threat, meaning can't be ruled out, but it's not the primary focus. This line of storms is most likely going to cause a lot more straight line wind damage versus potential embedded spin-up tornadoes. Now, these would be of the EF0, EF1 type, quick spin-ups, and then are only on the ground for a matter of minutes. But we go to 11 o'clock now on the model data, now well east of I-65. And as soon as this line moves through your area, your severe weather threat is over for the evening. So if you're out in the shoals, you might have your normal bedtime on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Here's 2 o'clock now. A line of storms off into parts of northwest and north central Georgia, moving through the Chattanooga metro area. So that's what I'm saying. The timeline is a little bit faster. But we're not done with those general gradient winds. The winds become more northwesterly, and we're still looking at gusts 30, 35, maybe up to 40 miles per hour, and temperatures are going to fall pretty quick through the day. You could even see the model maybe hinting at a little bit of a wintry mix. I don't think we'll have the temperatures to get actual winter precipitation, but it will feel a lot colder. We go from 70 on Tuesday to highs in just the low to mid 50s for Wednesday. Let's talk about that wind advisory really quick. This, again, goes into effect noon tomorrow through 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And these aren't for the storm-related winds. These are the general gradient winds is what we call them. Sustained south wind starting tomorrow, about 15 to even 35 miles per hour. That is the sustained wind. The gusts will be even stronger than that, anywhere from 40 to maybe upwards of 50, 55 miles per hour. And that's why we're concerned with the potential for damage and power outages before we even get that line of storms coming in. And with that power outage potential, tomorrow is a great opportunity to just kind of charge those devices as you go through the day, because if we do see power outages, the concern is how long will you be without power with those strong winds staying in the forecast. And if we look at the general gradient winds, I actually think the model is kind of downplaying it a bit, but here's 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and these are the potential wind gusts out of the south, anywhere from 35 to over 40 miles per hour. And the closer we get to those storms actually arriving, the stronger the winds actually start to get, with wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour from about 4 to 7 p.m. Then as the line moves in, we'll have the storm-related straight line winds, and then you actually see a brief drop in the wind gusts from west to east as that line of storms rolls through. But we're not done there. Then the wind takes on that northwesterly component, and we still see wind gusts 25 to maybe up to 40 miles per hour as we go through the morning on Wednesday, starting to subside as we go into the evening. We'll take a look at our current temperatures really quick, and then we're going to take a short break here in a moment, and then we'll come back with the last look at your 10-day forecast. So current temperatures on this beautiful Monday. Weekend forecast wasn't bad at all. A little bit colder, obviously, for your Sunday, but we currently have temperatures 48 Fayetteville, 51 Decatur, 52 in the Shoals, and 51 right now in Haleyville. So warming up nicely. High temperatures today. Our average is 62. We went with the forecast high, I believe, of 63, excuse me. So we're going to take a quick 1-minute break, and I'll be back with a look at your forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke again. Just kind of summarizing what we're expecting for our 48 First Alert weather day on Tuesday, even into Wednesday. Pretty high impact wind event for us. Hard to believe right now it's perfect. Very little wind. That's why I mentioned maybe try and get outside and see what could blow away in your yard, because that wind will start to ramp up overnight. So for the rest of the day today, temperatures continue to warm into the low to maybe mid 60s. We're already well on our way. Wind is out of the south and southeast about 3 to 7 miles per hour. For this evening, we'll continue to see increasing cloud cover. Overnight temperatures stay a lot warmer, dropping into the low to mid 40s. Wind starting to pick up, but at least a better start as far as the actual air temperature tomorrow morning. And then we go over to tomorrow, and this is when the 48 First Alert weather day begins. We'll see some very strong winds developing by mid to late morning. Some of those gusts could be 40 to 50 plus miles per hour. Then the later you go in the evening, we focus on that threat of strong to severe storms. So for the next 3 days, We've got 2 48 first alert weather days, Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday morning, that severe weather threat will wrap up very, very early, but it will be a day with falling temperatures and those wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. So we'll be talking about that wind chill factor again. Quick check of your 10-day forecast just to show you what's happening down the road. 53 on Thursday, that is below average. 64, maybe an isolated shower coming in late Friday evening, but that's not a bad end to our week, all things considered. Weekend forecast, first things first, daylight saving time will begin and we will spring forward 2 o'clock on Sunday morning, so essentially losing an hour of sleep. Good opportunity to always change the batteries in your smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and NOAA weather radios. But it's the week after this. We're in the low to mid 70s, and that also happens to line up with a lot of your students' spring break. So perfect timing for that. One more look at our severe weather threat developing tomorrow evening into early Wednesday morning. A big impact event for the southeast U.S., including our neighbors in Mississippi, Tennessee, down into Louisiana, parts of Florida there along the Gulf Coast, and then also into parts of East Texas too. The latest storm timeline, you might see some subtle changes to this, but model data in pretty good consensus that we will continue to see these storms firing up in northwest Alabama around 7 o'clock, progressing from west to east Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. North central Alabama, parts of central southern middle Tennessee, Giles, Lincoln, Moore, Franklin County, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., and then 9 p.m. to midnight for you in Marshall, Jackson, and DeKalb County, with that severe weather threat wrapping up right as we go into your very early Wednesday morning. Primary concern with this is going to be damaging straight line winds, threats of heavy rain, frequent lightning, potential for small hail. Tornado threat is not as organized and significant as it was a couple weeks ago, but there is still a chance of seeing some isolated brief spin-up tornadoes of the EF0, EF1 variety. So this is going to wrap up this version of Weather Extra on your Monday. Get outside, enjoy the beautiful day. Highs today in the low 60s. I'll have a lot more on your first alert weather day. Timing, impacts, everything you need to know coming up here at 11 and Tennessee Valley Living with Peyton Walker, as well as our newscast at noon with Gina Benitez. Have a great Monday, stay weather aware, and look for the latest regarding tomorrow's severe weather threat.